All right, welcome to Boggy Creek Life, and today we are going to continue our build on the Crypt Keeper. We already have one episode on it if you want to go back and check it out and then play catch up. It's not that long of an episode. We already went and heated up and cut off the extra vinyl and stuff that we needed to. So, all right, so today we're going to go on and we're going to get him filled, and we'll see what else we get from there. All right, so you can see I got some stuff already laid out, the body, the extra parts that we're not going to need right at the moment. I'm going to make this into a funnel. I got a big tub of plaster of Paris, and you obviously don't need a tub this big, but I have quite a few vinyl models, so I will be using quite a bit of it probably. All right, so what I'm going to do with this one is first I'm going to cut the funnel here real quick. Drop it right here. I mean, you can buy a funnel if you want, but the only one I got is for automotive needs, and I don't feel like getting plaster all in it. And I drink lots of water, so easy enough right there. Now, everything on the top is sealed, so I'm going to go to try to keep it that way. Got this down here, but it's small, so I'm going to lay that on there. All right, so I'm just going to stick that pretty much center on the hole, trace it around. All right, keep it the same, close. Doesn't really want to. Sharpies are hit and miss these days, if you ever notice that. All right, and for another thing, mine, the bottom, it's pretty flat, but it rocks just a little bit. So when I heat this up to cut it, I'm also going to try to push the bottom in a little bit to concave it, so only the edges are hitting, so it will be more sturdy. We're going to go ahead, heat this up with the hair dryer. I mean, you can use warm water, hot water if you like. To me, this is direct effect. You got to be a little more careful, but you also don't have to wait for it to, dry or anything like that. See, that's pretty soft. First, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut on the inside of my outline. Maybe take it out like this. Get a little start. Probably could be a little softer. Always make sure you use a good fresh blade and don't cut toward your hands, because vinyl, it can just like break loose all of a sudden and your knife just be like, boop. And if your piece falls in there, it doesn't really matter because it's going to get filled up with plaster anyways. I actually want it to fall in there and I can't get it to. There we go. All right, so now what I'm going to do, take my bottle and test it out. Kind of what I wanted it to do, kind of snap in there. And it helped concave my surface. I'm going to press on it here and there while it's cooling off to keep it flexed inward. Trying to press out towards the edges, get them down in there. All right, so now I'm going to move all this to outside so I don't make a mess. I'm going to end up making a something just to hold him upright like that while I fill it. See you outside. All right, so here we got our plaster of Paris. It says 2 to 1. We've got a little bit of water in there to start. If we make too much, that's all right. Got some extra water over here to add. And not get Mama's bowl dirty. Because I wanted a little more runny to get down in there. So, all right, let's go ahead and get to going. I think we got to do this kind of quick. Obviously, want to keep it some consistency to harden up correctly. Still pretty watery. Should have probably started with less water. That's okay. Learning curve. Ain't did this in a while. Still a bit runny. Getting all the chunks off the bottom. You can see them on the spoon. Just a little more. Still a bit runny. Oh, and that can happen when you don't use proper stuff. Well, let's try to save it. Try to make this pourable without getting it all over the place. It definitely takes a lot more than what it looks. You know, we'll probably have to find something else to make it in to finish him off, maybe. I don't know, we got a little more here. I just need to get it in there. Yeah, we got to clean it off of him now. But, you know, that's what happens sometimes. You can just hose it off of him to get it before you let it set up too much. He weighs about a metric ton right now. Shake it around real good, get that down in there. Alright, that looks like we might be good. Let that set up and dry. All right, so you can see some things that can happen sometimes, and that's now we got our title, Plaster Disaster. Yeah. Okay, so you see we got him now, all 30 pounds of him. Doesn't really wobble like he did before. If you notice, I didn't get it filled all the way to the top. I'm almost still, before I paint it, I'm going to let this dry a little longer, let some of the moisture escape before I, even if I do pour some in there and make it flush, I don't know. I just might leave it like this because I don't think it's going to affect everything. It's locked in because of the shape of it. It gives the moisture a place to escape from. And, yeah, I don't think it's going to, this is pretty thick vinyl, so I don't even think that weight's going to make anything bend or sag at the bottom. I think we're good to go on that, so we're going to set him off to the side for right now. And we're going to move on to the book here. Now, if you remember, I said that I was going to keep some of the scraps. This is actually the scrap that came from the big thing we cut off this in the last video. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these in here just to save on some Aves. You know, I ain't packing this whole thing full of Aves. So we're going to go ahead and get that done. Go ahead and take our trusty super glue here. Notice I'm gluing the whole thing, getting a good gob of glue on it. Down pretty good. I'll spray our accelerator in there. I think we're good to go. This stuff does evaporate. I want to wipe it off because I sprayed on kind of heavy. We need to hold it to keep it all underneath the edges of the book. Right in the middle there. Make sure that we ain't got no of the accelerator on that side. Want our glue to dry as soon as we put it on there. The big glob in the middle seems like the biggest contact point. That all run down in there. Okay, so I decided before we do the Aves that I maybe want to pin this into his arm here because it's going to have a little weight to it. But first thing I'm going to do is see how it's going to set. So we're going to stick our hand back in here. Remember, it just kind of locked in there nice. And we're wanting to see, because of our box art here, and of course we don't have to make it exactly, but you know, the book's kind of canted up towards the hand a little bit there. We want to see where it's going to sit. There we go. It actually feels like it's supposed to kind of set like that. On the box, it's away from his hand. Okay, that seems to be flush. All right. Pop this back off. Here's my rod that I'm going to cut a piece with. I already went ahead and got the appropriate size drill bit. I'm going to go ahead and take the marker, mark a little dot where I want it, kind of like a bone, angle of his arm. I just want to make sure I get it kind of right in the middle there. And I'm going to reckon it's supposed to be kind of right in the middle here. And we got a little wiggle room. This one here's got plaster in it. You know, once I put the 2-part epoxy on it, I can have it sitting so it can dry. Or I mean, I could super glue it. I imagine that would do it, but when I put pins, I kind of like to put 2-part epoxy, but I don't know, maybe for this I could do it. Anywho, we're gonna go ahead and get our drill. Always be careful with machinery, tools. And remember, this has got plaster in it, so try to make our mark. We already went in that deep right there. Let's see how much of our rod here we want sticking in. All right, I already tell I don't like the angle of it. Bend it a little bit. And mark the rod where it's stuck in the hole. Probably pushing close to 1/2 inch there. Maybe I want just a little more because it's not quite 1/2 inch. There we go. Cool with that. Now I'm going to mark it out here. You want to make sure it don't go. I mean, it's hollow. You want to make sure it don't go all the way up into here, probably. About right. This is going to recess a little bit to the arm, sleeve. Right about there, and get to his hand. The old trusty lineman's pliers with the big snip on them. Good for cutting wire like this. So make sure you hold both ends or your piece will go flying across the room. Drill a hole in this real quick. Just taking it real easy. Got that in there pretty much in the middle. So we'll stick our rod back in here. Put our hand back in to see where we're sitting. All right, well, I didn't get it all the way down in there. There we go. I think we're sitting kind of good. I'll go ahead. Put some glue down in the hole. Shove that in there. Give him a little spray. Let that dry while we're doing our aves. I always say you should use gloves to do this, but I'm only doing a little bit. And when does a little bit become enough? You know what I mean? I'll use that. Plus, too, you don't want to try to cross-contaminate it. But I just end up pinching it with different fingers. Mix that up real good. All right, got a one uniform color. We'll go ahead and roll it out in a couple of little snaky snakes. And I mean, honestly, if you have one of these you wanted to and you didn't want to do all the A's, you probably have enough right there to glue your page from inside the kit over top of and cover it up. This is just me being anal retentive. Good. Push that down in between there. Okay, so I got it all smushed in where I wanted to smush it. Come over here. Our sculpting tools. Not really expensive. I got these like 5 years ago off of Amazon, I think. This is, it's called safety solvent by Aves. I don't know why they call it safety, but it's for smoothing. You can use, I think you can use rubbing alcohol to smooth this, but it seems like I didn't have as much luck when I tried it. Or was a little, my go-to for this before this solvent stuff was Vicks Vapor Rub. That works pretty good, but once again, after it dries, after your Aves dries and everything, you got to clean your model off really well. Like I would wipe it off with rubbing alcohol first to cut through the Aves, or I mean to cut through the Vicks, and then take it back under the sink again with some soap and water. Get my crease of my book down in there good. I look from our angle like this. All right, so I'm going to say right there, we look pretty good if you look at it from the side angles. Right along the edges, we're kind of pretty flush with the edge of our piece, and we don't whipple and wave. It concaves a little bit, so that's okay. We'll just have enough to glue to the edges here. As long as we can't put our finger through it, that's what we're going for. So it takes 24 hours for your Aves to set up, but we'll just let it up. I mean, that's totally dry, like rock hard. But we will go ahead and move over here back to him and move towards attaching the head. So let's take a gander at our box again for reference. They got him slightly looking up a little bit. We'll see how the head sets best with the way we cut it from the other video. If we glue it right there, seems to be setting flush. He'll be looking over the book, kind of up and out a little bit. I don't think it'll be looking up as much as the box, but that's okay. We don't have to make it exactly the same. So what we're going to do here, since it ain't got no weight behind it or anything, we're just going to use super glue for this. Go ahead and get our spray ready. And we've learned already from gluing our things in our book that it seems like CA glue bonds pretty quickly to vinyl. So I think we're going to go ahead and just put it around the edge of his head. Make a nice bead, but not overflowing over the edges. Get it kind of the angle we want. Push it down. Seems to be sitting where I want it. Spray some of our stuff in there. Our BSI Industries Instaset. And like I said, you can do this with a hairdryer if you want, but do it at a distance and don't let your vinyl heat up too much because it will soften your vinyl. Unless you got a fancy hairdryer where you got just a cool setting. If you got an airbrush, you might be able to just push air through it, and dry it a little quicker. This stuff's supposed to evaporate pretty quick, but I always spray way too much. It feels pretty solid as long as we ain't playing football with him. So let's go ahead. Do the same thing with our hand. Get a nice bead around the whole thing there. That's the nice thing about the hand is it kind of pops in there and holds a little bit. Our head seems pretty solid. I mean, obviously I'm not rocking it like that, but it's a model. You're not supposed to. Okay, I took the hairdryer from about this far away and just flung it real fast so it acted more like a warm fan. Got that stuff to evaporate. Went ahead, stuck his hand on there. It's not glued yet because I am going to use 2-part epoxy on it, and there's no reason to sit you guys watching through that, but it sits on there nice and sturdy already. And you can see we got him all ready to go for paint prep, and get ready to get painted. So that's what we'll be doing in the next video. Okay, so thanks for stopping by and hanging with me while we get the Crypt Keeper together, built and ready to paint. Just a few things that I could throw out there at you. One, if you've never done this before and you have an accident like I did, don't freak out. Try to do what you can to finish what you're doing. I mean, unless it's in your eyes or something like that, obviously. Another thing with the plaster, it's pretty easy cleanup if you hit it while it's still wet. I was fortunate, had a garden hose out there, and that's another thing you could set yourself up for that situation, because, hey, you never know when a Halloween bucket that's sat out in the sun for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, especially in the southern Florida sun, is going to collapse on you. But if you guys have stuck around this long, well, and I have a feeling you might be into this kind of thing, why don't you do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. It's the easiest way to support the channel for free. Another free thing they do have that seems to be doing some good is if you see a hype button below this and you dig it, throw a few points at the hype. I'd really appreciate it. I think it tells YouTube to push it out towards more people is exactly what it's called. Hype this video up. It'd be greatly appreciated. All the returning subscribers, thank you much as always. If you're looking for other ways to support the channel, I do have a Zoom. It's a simple $3 tier. Patreon. It's a $3 tier, and what we do is once a month we meet for an hour or so, whatever people feel like doing, over on Zoom, build together, talk movies, models, life, whatever people feel like talking about. It's a good time had by all involved. And if Zoom ain't your thing, hey, I did unlock the memberships for YouTube. You can check underneath the video. It'll tell you how to get a hold of that. There's 2 tiers, the Bog Dweller, which is $3, and the Skunk Ape, which is $4. With the Bog Dweller, you get loyalty badges, you get special emojis, and you get member-only polls. And the Skunk Ape, you get all those things, plus you get a member shout-out in the video made after you join, and you also get access to videos early. I might link some of this stuff through the YouTube shopping thing, which, they give me a little kickback. That's another way to support the channel. Some of the tools I use, I don't promote garbage. I only put under there what you see me use that I've actually used and tested. All that being said, I really don't know what we're going to do next, but I've got the stuff to finish the pumpkin head diorama now, so I might start working on that. I'm still working on a plane for IPMS group. I might share a little clip of that when I'm done with it. I haven't shared any of the build because it's my first time, and I want to focus more on building than filming and building a plane at the same time, at least my first time. So, until I see you guys again, be good to each other. Model on. Sit, Rocco, sit. Good dog. Roof.